back from the dead.
Hey guys, welcome to my NYX Face Awards 2017 submission. I'm really excited, so let's jump straight into it. To begin your steampunk zombie look, you'll need a pencil liner, preferably brown, but white works well also. This is just to map out your design, so it doesn't matter if they're a little messy, as it's just going to act as a guide. Once your design is sketched out, it's time to fill it in. Because I wanted a quarter of my face still human, I'm going to start with that side first. You guys don't have to do this step, you can do a full zombie if you like. I just love showing the two different types of makeup. When choosing a foundation, I picked a very light shade to show the effect of being alive, which would be glowy and bright, opposed to being half dead, which I'll explain more in a minute. After you've applied a nice full coverage foundation, I move on to my brow. Using a spoolie, I comb through my brow. This will make applying product easier and will reduce build-up if you're using something like a pomade, which is my choice of product. I always start my brow halfway from the outer edge and drag back. I do the exact same for the top as well, creating an outline, which I think makes it easier for filling in. Pomade goes a long way, so when you're working your way to the center and inner corner of your brow, I suggest working with the product that is already on your brush, which will create a nice gradient effect. Using upward brush strokes as well towards the front of your brow will look more natural as well. There's tons of ways to fill in your brows. This way is just the way it works best for me. With a fluffy blending brush, I start my eye base with a light but warm brown transition shade. Transition shades will help the blending process later when you're applying a darker colour. Taking the same shadow under my eye, I then move on to my crease colour. I've chosen a darker brown warm shade and I apply it in backwards and forwards motions with a pencil brush. Remember, the smaller the part of your face, the smaller your brush should be. Once you have got the desired shade, I then move on to my lid. I've chosen a shimmery gold colour and I have wet my brush with water, as I find this will help pick up more pigment and it will stick to the base a lot firmer, and this will also help the longevity of your look. Using patting motions will also help your transfer from brush to face to ensure the best result. To blend out the gold edges, I switch back to the warm brown shade and my pencil brush, and I apply more of that colour on the inner and outer corner of my eye.
We're back from the dead.
Subtle highlight on your brow bone. Using a light shimmery shade and a packing brush, I pat that underneath my brow. This step is optional. For wing liner, I like to use the applicator that the liner comes with, and I start from the center of my eye and work my way out to the both inner and outer edges. For the wing, I put a diagonal line from the outer corner and draw towards my temple, joining that line to the center of my lash line. Mascara is optional as we're going to be applying false lashes, but mine are brown, so to help blend my natural lashes to the fake ones, I just apply a thin layer of mascara. Apply your glue to your lashes and wait for it to get tacky. While we wait for the lash to dry, let's start painting the zombie half of our body. I advise if you're going to do this step using water activated paints like me, put your contact lens in first, as I forgot this part and had to repaint around my eyes. No biggie, but learn from my mistakes. I use a vary of mixed greys and yellows to create my version of a corpse's colouring. Apply this as opaque or as translucent as you like. I did mine more translucent as I wanted this to show my freckles and moles to make it look like it was actually my skin. Okay, so our base is down, my contact lens is in, and my lash is on. I'm adding red around my eye to create irritation, which will help translate with the veins that we're going to paint on shortly. With a fine artist brush, create small wavy lines to represent veins. You can follow your actual vein lines, which can make it a lot easier and more realistic. Copy this technique on your chest, forehead and face. When you're happy with your achieved veins, move on to the tears in your mouth to expose your teeth.
Back from the dead.
To make it look like we're exposing teeth, I start with white water activated paint and draw little oblong shapes to represent teeth. I then fill in the background with a fine artist brush and red body paint, and this will act as exposed gum.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go.
I felt my eye just needed a little bit more irritation, so I'm taking a brown shadow mixed with a red shadow and just going around my eye a little bit more. To dirty up the rest of the look, because we are dead, I'm just going around with a bit of a brown shadow and just blotching it anywhere that I see fit. So now I'm adding some depth between the alive me and the dead me. Whatever side you shade, that will act as the sunken side. I chose the live side as I want the zombie part to be the main focus of this makeup. Same technique as the transition on our eye, applying the lightest shade first and working your way to the darkest shade. So moving back to the teeth, we want to make it appear that our tears are deep and sunken. So we need to shade around the outer edge lightly to create raised edges. The tears are deep, so we need to shade the inside with a dark red and a tiny bit of black towards the very, very inner edge. I suggest using a packing brush, as these are quite dense, and you can use the edge of the brush to get a nice clean line.
From the dead.
I still wasn't happy with the detail around my eye, so I went in with a bit of a purple and a tiny bit of black and created a bit more of a bruised effect. Now the worm was totally random, but I took a light brown body paint and drew an S-like shape coming out of the tear in the mouth. I shaded around the S shape with a dark brown eyeshadow. To create the effect of the worm coming up and out of the mouth, we need to shade under the worm. The darkest points will be where the worm touches the skin, which would be at both edges. So at the beginning and at the end. Joining those 2 points together with very little product, I do suggest using whatever is left on your brush so it's not a dark harsh line, as this is where the worm isn't touching the skin. To highlight, draw a white line in the same shape over your worm. I decided to define my edges more. Using a fine artist brush, I went back around the teeth with black body paint as well as the worm. To create the neck piece, I paint the base using black body paint. Once the base is down, I want to add the effect of aging and dirtiness. So with a scrunched bit of paper, I dab brown body paint all over the neck piece. So once you've applied your brown body paint, you're done. Later, I decided to add a few more details around the neck piece. So using a fine artist brush, I draw crisscrosses from each side representing laces. Okay guys, this is it, my entry for the Next Face Awards 2017 Australia and New Zealand. I really hope you guys enjoyed and learnt something new from my video. I worked super hard on this and this is only the beginning, so hopefully I get into the top 30 to show Australia and New Zealand what I can do. Good luck to absolutely everybody that entered. There's some killer entries already and I can't wait to see more. Bye guys, have a good one.
Hell yeah.